evening, everyone. My name is Brent Lawrence. I am your president of your board of directors representing District 1, and I welcome you to the 85th annual meeting of Minnesota Valley Electric Cooperative. We thank you for joining us tonight. What a pleasure it is to see faces in person, rather than speaking to a camera as we did the past 2 years. You know, we're glad for the technology that allowed us to do the annual meeting on an electronic basis, but there's really nothing like getting together in person. So, as we begin our meeting tonight, I would like to ask you to please stand and we'll start by observing our great nation with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And we will also start this meeting the same way that we begin each of our MDEC monthly board meetings, by reading MDEC's Spirit of Our Cooperative. And that document was created by MDEC team members. It's a standard that we hold ourselves accountable to in our lives and in our work. So please welcome Board Director Michelle Morrison from District 2 to the podium as she shares with you the words of the Spirit of the Cooperative.
Hi, everybody. So we start all our board meetings by reading the Spirit of the Co-op. It goes like this. Believing in our shared values, we, the employees of Minnesota Valley Electric Co-op, commit to live by the following spirit of our co-op. Community. We are unique and valuable individuals, unified by a common goal, service to our members and one another. We're involved, support each other, and have fun. Integrity. We are honest, trusting, and trustworthy. Learning. We study, teach, reflect, and gain experience to prepare ourselves and organization for a better future. We keep an open mind and explore new ideas in a positive way. Fair process. We participate in decisions that affect us. We have fair expectations and communicate why decisions are made. We then move on and direct ourselves to the common goals. Relationships. We are respectful and understanding of each other, asking for what we need, and resolving our differences in an open, positive, and direct way. Action. We are united in our shared vision and go forward into the changing future. We build courage and confidence in one another. Safety and wellness. We focus on the importance of MDEC employees by promoting a culture of safety and wellness at the co-op. We live our spirit of the co-op. We take responsibility for our actions and hold each other accountable for the results.
Thank you, Michelle. At this time, I would like to acknowledge MDEC's Operation Roundup program, which complements our Spirit of the Cooperative creed. We thank our members who continue to round up their monthly electric bills to the next whole dollar to support the program. Combined, that extra change really adds up and goes to many local worthy causes within our communities. Since 1995, the total donation amount has exceeded $2 million. So I would personally like to thank the Operation Roundup Trustee Board for all of their efforts. John Miller, the board president from Henderson, Dwayne Glenn of Lakeville, and Dwayne's right back there. Connie Meeker, of course, everyone knows Connie in this area, and Connie is the secretary treasurer of that board. Diana Brenke of Belle Plaine, I think Diana is here. I think I saw her come in. Yep, she's here. Carolyn Christopherson, Carolyn is here from Belle Plaine. Paul Jacobus of Credit River. Dick Peterson of Belle Plaine, and Dick is here. Most of you probably know Dick as well. Carol Reagan Shakopee, Jeannie Swart of Elysian, and MDEC's in-house ORU coordinator, Chris Schwingler, who is passing on the ORU torch. Thank you, Chris, for 21 years of coordinating application requests and ORU's quarterly evening board meetings. And now I'd like to invite representatives from the Sibley County Fair Association and ORU Trust Board Vice President Dwayne Glenn to come to the stage for a special presentation.
I do have a check to present, and I hope I have somebody to present the check to. But I do want to make a couple other comments. But thank you, Brent. Every quarter, the ORU Trustee Board has the privilege to review, approve, and disperse approximately $40,000 to area program applicants seeking support for their mission. We are proud to contribute on behalf of our members to so many nonprofits and community programs. Programs doing some incredible work within our Mdec service area. If you would allow me just one brief moment, I'll share with you some of the organizations we've been able to support most recently. To Be Continued is an organization that raises the ability of our educators to triage mental health issues among our young people. Can Do Canines, training critically needed service dogs. Mdac, providing resources to support foster, kinship, and adopted children and their families. Prior Lake Pickleball Club for their new windscreens. We can't have those pickleballs floating around in the wind too much. Scholarships for Campfire Minnesota and a new sound system for the LeSueur County 4-H program. Southern Valley Alliance in assisting victims of domestic violence. Dozens of food shelves, high school proms and after prom parties, educational field trips, cultural programs, and back-to-school backpacks. That's just a small sampling of the impact you have through Operation Roundup. We don't have anybody to give our check for the Sibley County Ag Association, but we will get that money to them to build new gates for the llama barn on the fairgrounds. It gives a much better experience for everybody to see the llamas. Your few cents in rounding up your OR bill, your Mdec bill every month just makes such a huge impact in the community. Approximately 55% of our members support the program, and so we ask for your continued support in talking to your friends and neighbors to participate in this wonderful program. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dwayne. We'll make sure the llama barn gets taken care of there. It's exciting, really. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank Great River Energy, one of our wholesale power providers, for their annual contribution of $1,000 to our Operation Roundup program. And now it's my pleasure to introduce your present board of directors. If you will please stand as I call your name. First, from District 1, Deb Erickson of Savage. Tom Wolf from Credit River. And yours truly, Brent Lawrence from Credit River. In District 2, Gary Haberman of Chanhassen. Gary could not be here tonight. Bill Heinlein of Chanhassen. Bill. And you met Michelle Morrison before. Michelle from Beltline. District 3, Fran Barton from McRae. Jim Conley from St. Thomas. And Kevin Gibbs from the Center. Also here tonight is District 1 candidate Daniel Fleischacker. Daniel, if you would please stand up. And District 1 is the only MDEC district with an election race this year. Now, our presenters tonight are Paul Johnson, our attorney, Ryan Henches, your Chief Executive Officer, and Joanne Cole, the Chief Financial Officer. Now, I've been told we have some special guests tonight. Steve Johnson from Basin, CFO, and Senior VP from Basin. Steve, there's Steve. Steve came all the way from Bismarck, North Dakota for us tonight. Steve, we always appreciate you attending. It's always great to have you here, and we really appreciate the relationship we have with Basin. So thank you so much for coming. We really do appreciate it. Also, the mayor of Arlington, Rich Nagel, is here. Rich is there. He's in the back. Had a chance to talk to him tonight before the presentation. And there are possibly some other city officials as well. We're pleased to be holding the meeting in this beautiful community center. Thank you for welcoming all of us to the city of Arlington. So at this time, I will officially call this meeting to order. The meeting is being recorded and will be posted to MDEC's website in the very near future. Let the minutes reflect a quorum of 50 members is met, and that is a combination of mailed-in votes received and the members that are present tonight. A meeting notice for this annual meeting was published in the Electric Eye newsletter, was posted online and at the office, and was mailed to membership. Are there any questions on the minutes? We have minutes of the 2021 annual meeting. They were available at registration. Do you have any questions on the minutes from last year? And seeing none, the minutes will stand approved as printed. So at this time, I am pleased to introduce MDEC's Chief Executive Officer, Ryan Henches. Ryan will provide an overview of your cooperative for the year 2020. Ryan?
Thank you, Brent, and good evening, everyone. I'm Ryan Henches, and on behalf of the team at Minnesota Valley Electric Cooperative, welcome to the 85th annual meeting of Minnesota Valley Electric Cooperative. It's great to look into the audience tonight and see so many familiar faces and so many new faces. I have some prepared comments to go through tonight, and then at the end I'll open it up for questions from you in the audience. We had 3 members submit questions ahead of time, and I'll go through those first at the end of my comments, and then open it up for additional questions. So for my part tonight, I want to give you, our member owners, an overview of the cooperative's performance from the previous year and a glimpse of what the future might bring. But before talking about 2021, I think it's important to talk about what took place in 1937. You see, back in 1937, a group of people from our communities got together and formed a cooperative for the purpose of bringing electricity to the rural areas. Their initial purpose for establishing a cooperative is important to understand. You see, it wasn't for profit, but rather to make our communities better. The first known mission statement for Minnesota Valley is up on the screen, and it's to advance the position of agriculture, to enrich the life of the community, to free men and women from the heavy drudgery of the home and farm. The farmers of the Minnesota River Valley, in cooperation with their federal government, are organized through this cooperative to supply at cost the limitless service of electricity. Those forming the cooperative did so not for a rate of return for shareholders, but for the benefits electrification would bring to their communities, to enrich the life of their community through the limitless service of electricity. You see, they lived, worked, and believed in their communities. For them, it wasn't just business, it was personal. That focus and feeling hasn't changed over the years. It's in our roots. Today, our team lives in the areas we serve, and our communities are important to us. While some members of our community wake up to farm, to run businesses, or to work in other professions, our team wakes up to serve our communities and provide safe, reliable electricity at cost. So tonight, our annual meeting is a chance for us to share with you and let you know the cooperative is staying true to its deep roots while maintaining a focus on the future. So it's important to start any update on the performance of the cooperative with a discussion on safety. The safety of our team and our communities is an everyday focus. Developing a culture of safety is critical. So what is a culture of safety? Well, it's a combination of attitudes, behaviors, and processes meant to keep our team and our community safe. To enhance the culture of safety in 2021, a number of things took place. First was training. Linemen and technicians went through monthly trainings, and office team members attended at minimum 4 training sessions. These training sessions focused on a range of activities, from driving vehicles to first aid and CPR, and to the appropriate handling of protective equipment. And for the first time, training also included a virtual reality component. So second was proactive near-miss reporting. To maintain safety awareness, each team member reported at least 1 near miss during the year. A near miss is a situation in which someone could have been hurt, however, fortunately was not. Reporting a near miss is a proactive way to learn from the situation and resolve issues prior to an injury occurring. Third were investments in safety equipment. It's important to make appropriate investments in equipment, such as vehicles and vehicle inspections, protective rubber gear, fire extinguishers, AEDs, and fire retardant clothing. In all, we made over $150,000 of safety-related investments in 2021. A 2021 highlight was that safety indices improved over previous years. The 2021 incident rate of 2.19 was the lowest since 2016. Although we continue to work toward a perfect record, I appreciate our team's focus on developing a culture of safety. Now, the digital security of your data and our grid has become increasingly complex and vital. Along with the capability to change the flow of power comes the responsibility to protect our digital assets. Each team member goes through quarterly training on email security and social engineering security. The goal is to remind everyone at Minnesota Valley that they play an important role in ensuring a secure digital environment. Our IT team focuses on endpoint security, network threat detection, and ensuring disaster recovery capabilities. And digital security requires teamwork locally, but it also includes teamwork nationally. Minnesota Valley participates on a federal level with the Cyber Risk and Information Sharing Program known as CRISP. This program allows Minnesota Valley to have insight into the latest risks by working with the Department of Homeland Security as well as other federal agencies. As threats continue to evolve, we'll continue to enhance our abilities and work to maintain a secure cyber environment. So as the limitless service of electricity increases, so does the need to ensure reliable electric service. We understand that power interruptions have a profound impact on daily life. As we continue to electrify our lives for leisure and work, power interruptions have moved past simple inconveniences to a significant negative impact. Our distribution system has over 4,000 miles of line, 29 substations, 98 line regulators, 80 capacitor banks, 89 air brake switches, 304 switching cabinets, 946 primary pedestals, over 17,000 transformers, 37,000 poles, all spanned across a 968 square mile service territory. As our communities grow, the size and scale of our grid grows. To meet the community growth and reliability expectations of our members, we focus on 3 areas: construction, maintenance, and automation. Each year, the cooperative manages a detailed construction work plan. It defines and prioritizes where electric service will be upgraded, expanded, or enhanced in some form. In 2021, the construction work plan was $12.8 million, including 14.7 miles of overhead line, 18.4 miles of underground line, 2 substation upgrades for growth and reliability, and around $50,000 on pole testing to ensure poles are resilient enough to withstand the elements and support our linemen. Now, maintaining the grid is critical to ensuring reliable electric service. On a monthly basis, our technicians test and inspect the 29 substations on the system. Testing proactively identifies issues before outages occur. Our crews inspect transformers with infrared testing to ensure they are operating appropriately. Infrared testing identifies hotspots or poor connections that can be corrected before an outage occurs. Trees are one of the largest causes of outages and safety-related issues if they are not routinely trimmed. In 2021, Minnesota Valley spent $2.4 million on vegetation management. Our board of directors authorized an aggressive tree trimming project in 2020, and we've already seen the benefits of that project in reduced outages. As utility technology has progressed, Minnesota Valley has increased our use of automation. Today, from our control center, we can monitor the flow of electricity across our system, and as necessary, change the flow of electricity. This automated technology helps decrease outage times, and crews can conduct the necessary investigations to ensure a safe environment, and then radio back to the dispatch center to switch the flow of electricity to an alternate substation or power source. This brings the power on quicker and allows crews the time to investigate root causes and make permanent repairs while still on site. In the end, all the reliability investments are measured through the lens of 3 indices: CAIDI, SAIDI, and safety. In 2021, these indices improved compared to previous years, and all indices compare favorably to Xcel Energy. Now, the financial stability of the cooperative is critical to meeting our overall objectives. Chief Financial Officer Joanne Cole will detail our financial position, which I'm happy to report remains very strong. For my part, I'll highlight two areas: rates and power supply. There are many costs, expenditures, and investments made throughout the year. I've discussed a few of them relating to building and maintaining the grid. We realize every dollar we spend has to be recovered through the rates we charge for electricity, the rates which you see on your monthly bill. We take this fiscal responsibility seriously and work to balance the need to invest in our cooperative with the need to ensure a fair and competitive rate for the electricity provided to you. As mentioned earlier, we've made significant investments in people and plant to ensure we provide a quality product and service. This is critical and must be balanced with an understanding it impacts the monthly cost to our members. This balance has resulted in a legacy general service rate that has not changed since 2016 and compares favorably to local utilities. The rate you pay for electricity is currently 10 to 15% below Xcel Energy's rate. A major component of our overall cost structure is power supply. This is a cost we pay to buy power on your behalf. Minnesota Valley does not own any generating facilities, but rather we purchase wholesale power energy from Great River Energy, Basin Electric, and Alliant Energy. In 2006, we began the process of diversifying our power supply portfolio. Over the years, our diversified portfolio has served us well by providing both savings and stability. This is important because around 69% of our costs is attributed to the purchase of power. In February of 2021, much of the United States was impacted by Winter Storm Uri. The storm caused significant issues to the reliability and cost of power across the United States, with the most significant issues being in Texas. The cost of energy in the market soared, and that cost burden is still being felt by consumers across the United States today. Although some of Minnesota Valley's power supply contracts rose significantly during that 4-day storm, other contracts decreased significantly. This is thanks to our diversified power supply portfolio, which allowed us to weather the polar vortex without negatively impacting our members' costs. But 2021 was not just about holding the line from a cost perspective. It was also about returning money to our members. In addition to maintaining stable rates, in 2021, your cooperative issued $1.3 million in credits for power cost adjustments on your electric bill. Another $1.45 million was returned to members in the form of capital credit payments. And finally, in December of 2021, your board of directors approved a 2022 budget which continues to make long-term investments in plant and team, as well as holds rates steady for another year. Now, we strive to set ourselves apart from other utilities by providing exceptional member experiences. We seek to accomplish this by providing personal service, information, and options. And I'll begin with personal service. When calling Minnesota Valley during business hours, you talk to a person. You don't listen to a list of options in an automated phone system. In 2021, our member service representatives personally answered over 19,000 calls and answered 7,500 emails. They helped 261 members investigate why their bill was higher than expected and provided programs and services that support energy management efforts. Now, our member service reps not only help members with billing questions, but they also help members in difficult financial situations. One way of adding a personal service this year was to personally call members who were having payment difficulties. The purpose of the call was to make sure the member understood the various resources available to them to help them in their specific situation. In 2021, our MSRs helped members obtain over $250,000 in state energy assistance. One member commented that they were very grateful for the help that assistance provided and do not know what they would have done without it. Now, personal service includes helping our members make other energy-related decisions. To that end, our energy specialist took over 4,000 calls from our members with questions on energy-related products and services. Personal service was offered by phone call, FaceTime, email interactions, or a site visit. The goal is to personally tailor our products and services to the members' needs and to be the energy expert that you can count on. Now, we understand our members want information on their electric usage. Since 2010, we've provided hourly usage online through a free application called Smart Meters. Members can go online to use an app to view account information, pay a bill, or even report an outage. Your monthly bill also shows daily electric usage and average daily cost. It also breaks down the difference between the cost to generate electricity you use and the cost for us to deliver it to your home or business. Providing you with these tools to manage your account is important, and members seem to agree. We have nearly 29,000 members signed up for the Smart Hub application. Now, as I mentioned earlier, our energy specialists help our members utilize this information to take advantage of our EnergyWise programs. Minnesota Valley offers industry-leading EnergyWise programs with over 44% of our members participating in one or more programs. These programs benefit both members and the cooperative. Members save money by receiving bill credits or reduced electric rates, and the cooperative saves money by reducing the need to buy higher-priced electricity. In 2021, we expanded our popular Wi-Fi thermostat program to a total of 8 eligible thermostat manufacturers. Members have remote control of their heating and cooling and the ability to see real-time energy consumption from a computer or smartphone. Collectively, the members on the Wi-Fi thermostat program saved over $94,000 during the 2021 season. Now, when an outage occurs, we know you expect to be able to quickly report the outage and obtain the status on the outage. Over the years, we've developed a variety of outage reporting options, including landline, smartphone app, and as of 2021, via text message, you can now make a report of an outage even easier. Now, ultimately, we measure our member service through the lens of the American Customer Satisfaction Index, or ACSI survey. The ACSI survey is taken by various industries and utilities across the United States. In 2021 ACSI surveys, our members rated us 87 out of a possible 100 points. 4 key areas are asked: overall satisfaction, how does MDC measure up to your expectations, comparison to an ideal utility, and member loyalty. To compare, other electric cooperatives across the U.S. have had an average score of 73. So Minnesota Valley is happy to receive an 87, but we strive each year to rate higher in our members' eyes. So as I mentioned earlier, our earliest mission statement identified the objective to enrich the lives of our community. There are many ways to accomplish that objective. One way is to ensure a healthy and stable cooperative and deliver on the promise of safe, reliable, and affordable electricity. Another is to give back and be active in the communities in which we serve. Throughout the years, Minnesota Valley team members have been active in our communities. In 2021, Minnesota Valley sponsored 30 community events, donated a variety of handmade goods, toys, and books to over 10 local organizations during the holiday season. Of course, earlier you heard Minnesota Valley's Operation Roundup. Donations totaled over $133,000 in 2021. Nearly 100 local organizations received funds from the ORU program, and we are proud to support our local communities. And finally, since 2013, Minnesota Valley annually awards $15,000 for high school student scholarships. Over $130,000 has been awarded to students pursuing post-high school education. And later this evening, we'll be presenting our latest round of scholarships. So that's a quick look at how the cooperative performed in 2021. Looking into the future, your cooperative is positioned well. We will maintain a balanced approach by continuing to invest in safety, reliability, while simultaneously ensuring your rates stay competitive. We'll continue to support an energy transition which will see the continued use of renewables and carbon-free resources. However, we'll do so in a manner that manages risk and ensures reliability. And finally, consistent with our founding 85 years ago, we'll continue to invest in our local communities. So to summarize, in 2021, our safety indices trended positive. Rates stayed stable, even with the polar vortex and increasing supply chain costs. We returned $2.4 million to our members. Reliability indices trended positive, and member satisfaction scores remained high. While I'm grateful to be with you tonight and report on Minnesota Valley's success, the credit goes to the team at Minnesota Valley for their mindset of service and a view toward improvement and the future. To the linemen, member service reps, mechanics, finance, IT, dispatchers, meter techs, substation techs, engineers, energy services and key accounts, billing, warehouse, human resources, receptionists, administrative support, and communications and marketing. Thank you. It takes every member of that team to move our cooperative forward. Credit also goes to our board of directors for guiding us and ensuring we achieve a balance of making necessary investments in people and plant while continuing to maintain stable rates. And finally, thank you to you, our member owners. Our cooperative exists to serve you and our communities. Your engagement and partnership with us make us better. And together, we can continue to honor our heritage and deep roots while maintaining a focus on the future. So thank you for being with us tonight, and thank you for being a member owner of Minnesota Valley Electric Cooperative. So that concludes my comments. At this time, I'll answer any questions you may have. You can think about them. I'm going to start with 3 questions that came in ahead of time. I'll go through those and answer any other questions you may have. So the first question that came in was, does Minnesota Valley have plans to exceed the state's minimum requirements for using renewable energy sources? And the short answer is yes. As our power supply portfolio continues to evolve, the amount of renewable energy in that portfolio has been increasing. All of our power suppliers are increasing the amount of carbon-free generation in their respective portfolios. An example of this is decisions that have been made by the Minnesota Valley Board when Great River Energy's Stanton Station coal plant closed. Those contracts were replaced with a combination of market contracts and wind contracts. In the future, as opportunities arise, we'll evaluate the options for adding additional renewable generation. As all of our overall power supply becomes more carbon-free, members wishing to move more quickly to renewables may by using our Green Source program. Our Green Source program allows you to add renewable energy credits, which in effect increase the amount of renewable energy generation in your own specific portfolio. So all members have that ability through the purchase of RECs, renewable energy credits, to have a 100% renewable portfolio. So the second question is, I'm interested in having an inclusive financing program available for Minnesota Valley member owners. I know it's been discussed at board meetings. What is the main obstacle to implementation? So just as a bit of background, inclusive financing is a program by which members can make energy efficiency upgrades in their home. The upfront costs of the upgrades are paid for by an entity, potentially the cooperative or other entity, and then members pay for those upgrades over time on their bills. The concept is that the payment for those upgrades, energy efficient upgrades, is less than the savings that they receive from their reduced electric usage. We're currently evaluating this program and how inclusive financing fits within our overall product portfolio. And when members present new ideas to us like this, we listen and we engage and we evaluate to see how that program fits within our overall existing programs and services. We hear a variety of requests right now. There's a lot of different requests, a lot of different ideas. Home batteries, distributed generation, and increased rebates on certain applications, just to name a few. So we're in the process of evaluating and prioritizing our current and looking at new product offerings. Also note that Minnesota Valley is a leader in our EnergyWise programs, as I mentioned earlier, with 44% of our members participating, and we currently have a variety of financing options available to members as well. And lastly, I'll say in addition, last year as a cooperative, we invested over $100,000 helping low-income members become energy efficient. And we're currently working with low-income advocates and others to develop and determine the effective solutions moving into the future as technologies change. The last question that came in ahead of time is, I'm a member owner who's concerned about our reliance on fossil fuels, healthy air, and climate change. Why did the Minnesota Valley Board choose to support the sale and continued operation of the North Dakota Coal Creek Power Plant? So by way of background, in January of 2022, Minnesota Valley Board and 26 other member cooperatives of Great River Energy decided to sell Great River Energy's Coal Creek Station. It was a complex decision that considered many different factors. Over 12 months, it was analyzed. There were a variety of conversations, discussions, and presentations on this topic. And as I mentioned, in January of 2022, our board decided to vote in favor of the sale, and the following are the main reasons for that decision. The first one was it continued a balanced transition of the Minnesota Valley and the GRE power supply portfolio. Secondly, there was a financial benefit to the sale. Third was a reduced risk and uncertainty of Great River Energy and Minnesota Valley's power supply portfolio. The fourth one was reduced potential liability of Coal Creek Station shutdown. And the last one was selling the high voltage direct current transmission line was lower risk than other options. This was a complex deal, a complex decision. It took a lot of time to come to a conclusion on how to move forward. If anyone would like to talk in more detail with me about that afterwards, I'd be happy to have that conversation. So those are the questions that came in ahead of time. If anyone else has questions, I think maybe we don't have a roaming mic available, so if you want to just stand up, maybe state your name and your question. I'll repeat it from here to make sure everybody can hear. So this time I'd be happy to take any questions. Also say we'll be around afterwards. So it's right here. Yes, sir.
Ron Otto, does the co-op have any policy on delisting of the power components with wind power or solar power components at this time? As I understand, they're pretty hard to, there's no recycling of those components at this time.
Thank you for the question. So I'll repeat. The question is, do we have a policy or maybe a plan for any of the delisting or decommissioning of generating assets such as power or wind? And as I mentioned earlier, we don't own any generating facilities. So we don't own any solar panels. We don't own any wind turbines. Rather, we contract for that. That contract does not have a specific decommissioning process that we would be involved with. So I guess I would say no, we don't have a policy with regards to that. Does that answer your question, sir?
Not really, because you probably have members that are looking into doing stuff like that, and what are they going to do with it? You're going to be of no help to these people when it gets time to decommission.
Yeah, so if it's that is correct. If it is a member-owned asset, to date we have not done anything with, from a perspective of helping with the decommissioning or anything. We've really looked at that as a member-owned asset. Yes, in the back.
Hi, my name's Paula Thompson. Currently, Iowa gets about 60% of all of its energy from wind. And just looking at it from just a regular folks' point of view, it makes me wonder, with that type of energy, you're not paying for fuel costs. It's just collecting the energy, so it tends to be a lot cheaper. And I'm wondering, as we diversify the portfolio that you have and get into more wind energy, if we could maybe expect to see lower costs.
Yeah. So I'll repeat the question and make sure I've got it right, and feel free to correct me. The question is, as wind energy becomes more predominant from a variety of perspectives, wind has lower costs attributed to it? Will we see the overall price of electricity coming down over time? So when I talk about our wholesale power costs being about 69% of your bill, of our overall cost structure, there's a lot of individual contracts that go into that. We are seeing stable prices from a power supply perspective at a time where you're seeing a lot of other costs going up. So we are seeing some cost maintaining and some stability into the future. The degree to which that goes down will be yet to see, yet to be determined. As you understand, the future will be some type of balanced portfolio of a variety of different assets. All will have different cost structures, and what that winds up being, we'll have to see. For example, with wind, we can take advantage of wind, and where we don't have congestion issues from a wind perspective, from a transmission perspective, the cost is very very favorable, and that's why, as an organization, we've gone that route with a couple of wind contracts. That said, we still need what we call firm resources, natural gas, others to supply power when that wind farm or when the solar panels aren't producing. So it's a balance of all those assets. Over time, it's tough to predict what will happen with prices over time. We feel pretty good right now about maintaining price stability, given the environment and everything that we see going on around us. So, sorry I can't give you a more precise answer. It would take a while. We could walk through all the specific resources contracts that might give you a more precise answer. But generally, that's how we look at it. Thank you. Any other questions? Okay. Thank you. Now happy to introduce Joanne Cole, our Chief Financial Officer, who will go through our financial report.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Ryan. With tonight's presentation, I will cover some highlights of our 2021 financials. The balance sheet is the first financial topic we'll cover this evening, and we'll start with the asset side of the balance sheet, or what I call what MDEC owns. The largest portion of the MDEC assets are plant investments, things such as poles, wires, substations, all those items that serve you, our membership. The second largest category is MDEC's investments. Investments in other organizations, which include patronage capital allocated to Minnesota Valley from our power suppliers. Minnesota Valley also invests funds to equate to the amount of margin stabilization fund or rate stabilization fund, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. The remaining portion of the balance sheet are current assets and mainly consist of cash, accounts receivable or amounts that are owed to Minnesota Valley, and our inventory. Minnesota Valley did use a portion of our margin stabilization fund in 2021 to maintain our financial metrics, a reduction of approximately $1.1 million. The cooperative uses this fund to avoid rate increases wherever possible. To that point, as mentioned earlier by Ryan, no legacy general rate service rate increase has occurred since 2016. A full cost of service study in 2021 and a rate design in 2022 as current projections, so Minnesota Valley will need to use the majority of this rate fund in 2022. Other assets consist primarily of registration fees amortized over the life of various loans. Now let's take a look at some details of Minnesota Valley's largest asset, those plant investments that I was talking about. Growth at Minnesota Valley enhancing the grid has continued in 2021. With this continued growth, Minnesota's Valley's total plant value has now reached $211 million. Balancing that growth with the need to improve our infrastructure and reliability while maintaining and managing total spending is reviewed annually with long-range plans that span multiple years. Our average cost for KWH remains 25 to 30% below that of similarly sized cooperatives. This keeps the cost to deliver portion of your electric bill minimally impacted. The other side of the balance sheet is liabilities and equity, or what I like to call what Minnesota Valley owes. The assets Minnesota Valley owns are primarily funded by two things: long-term obligations, or debt, and Minnesota Valley members' equity, also known as patronage or capital credits. The largest portion of this side of the balance sheet is long-term obligations, or debt. That debt increased in 2021 by approximately $6 million to help fund the cooperative's electrical infrastructure and to pay off a line of credit. Minnesota Valley was able to secure two loans this past year at interest rates of approximately 1.8% and 1.7%. Overall, our current blended interest rate is now 2.9%. Current liabilities decreased in 2021 by approximately $3 million, and that's attributed to that reduction in the line of credit I just mentioned, and a reduction in year-end amounts owed to our vendors. The line of credit was replaced with lower interest rate, long-term financing. Other dollars in this line represent a current portion of Minnesota Valley's annual debt obligations, member deposits, and year-end accruals. Deferred credits increased by approximately $300,000. This amount represents former members Minnesota Valley has tried to issue a capital credit to. However, we are currently unable to locate them. These funds are then donated to area community organizations, including Minnesota Valley Scholarships, if they remain unclaimed. Equity, or Minnesota Valley's member ownership, grew by approximately $2 million, which represents our 2021 margins less the 2021 capital credit retirement. Now, to help us understand debt and equity a little bit more, there are 3 cooperative commitments. As of the end of 2021, they were accounts payable and deferred credits, representing about 8.8%, lender and banking relationships, which account for approximately 56.8%, and member equity or capital credits, which account for approximately 34.4%. Now let's take a look at that member equity or member ownership in the cooperative specifically. Minnesota Valley Equity, which consists of power providers and Minnesota Valley margins, hovers at 34%. Like all other co-ops, Minnesota Valley retains equity for a period of time to help build and maintain our grid. Co-ops across the country have average equity levels of about 45% to total assets. So you might ask, why is Minnesota Valley lower? Well, because the cooperative balances that lower equity with the use of debt. By keeping electric rates to a minimum, the cooperative has lower equity, and more of the monthly income you earn is kept in your wallet versus paid to the cooperative. Minnesota Valley is maintaining member equity while keeping rates low and paying out capital credits. In 2021, Minnesota Valley paid $1.45 million in capital credits, with a total of $28 million since 1959. The other main funding source of assets is debt, and financing plant investment is all about the interest rate. Minnesota Valley has been able to secure these funds at a blended interest rate on all of our debt at 2.9%. This low interest rate borrowing has helped avoid a legacy general service rate change since 2016. Now let's switch and take a look at our annual operating statement for a few minutes. Total revenues reflect a 4% increase in 2021 due to weather patterns. Wholesale power costs increased as well for 2 main reasons. Kilowatt-hour sales volumes increased due to the weather experienced in 2021, and energy market prices were higher than historical averages. Minnesota Valley's load control programs, the generator and energy-wise programs, support meeting demand and transmission targets to reduce potential costs to the membership as a whole. but power cost remains Minnesota Valley's most significant annual expense. Approximately 69% of the revenue collected goes to pay for purchased power. Or if you think about it another way, for every dollar each member spends on their power bill, approximately 69 cents is used to pay for purchased power. Minnesota Valley team members focus on ways to manage purchased power costs while balancing risk and a diversified portfolio. Department expenses increased $450,000. This represents the team, our crews, engineers, office personnel, responsible for everything you see happening locally, with the primary focus on delivering power from the substation to your home or business in a reliable, consistent, and safe manner. While depreciation, interest, and taxes increased $278,000, this is all attributable to plant investment, infrastructure, and reliability improvements. These two line items together are referred to local operating expenses at Minnesota Valley and represent approximately 30 cents of each dollar paid by you, Minnesota Valley members. While local operating expenses have grown, the cost per kWh has been held to 3.3 cents per kWh. After wholesale power cost and department operating expenses, Minnesota Valley financial results leave an operating margin of only 0.8% of revenue. Total margins for the year total $3.5 million. Allocation of these annual margins, our capital credits, will be reported to you on your May electric bill. This pie graph provides a little bit different look at Minnesota Valley's total cost structure. Remember that 69 cents of each dollar spent by Minnesota Valley represents wholesale purchased power. You would see these costs on your bill as the cost to generate or transmit power. The remaining approximately 30 cents is broken up into many different categories, with the majority, as you might expect, going to support the distribution system from a maintenance and operations perspective, and then the depreciation, interest, and taxes on Minnesota Valley's plant investment in the distribution system. You'd see these costs as the cost to deliver part of your power bill. Of these two cost components, the cost to generate and the cost to deliver, the largest ongoing challenge remains with minimizing wholesale purchase power costs. Minnesota Valley continues to study and implement strategies which provide a balance of cost containment or reduction, risk reduction, and opportunities to support a diversified energy portfolio. With purposeful planning these past 10 years, Minnesota Valley has been able to manage all costs, wholesale power and local operating expenses per kWh at a 1.4% annual growth rate, an increase of 1.4 cents over those years. As we talk about the importance of kWh sales, here are a couple growth measures worth reviewing. Minnesota Valley kilowatt-hour sales declined in 2019 and in 2020 due to the annexation of New Prague in Minnesota Valley's service area, and then in 2020 due to COVID's impact on our commercial sales. However, in 2021, sales increased to levels similar to 2018 due to February's cold weather and then the summer warmer than average weather. Since 2011, Minnesota Valley's sales have grown 24%. This growth is key in keeping the ability to spread our costs, thus minimizing rate impacts to you. Locally, Minnesota Valley's rates continue to compare favorably across local power providers, such as Xcel, and also when compared to neighboring municipals. Minnesota Valley continues to work with our power providers in securing lower cost solutions without undue risk to the membership. Minnesota Valley continues to partner with you on money-saving load management programs. Residential members have EnergyWise programs. Business members have on-site generator programs. Both help to save on wholesale power costs. A win-win for you, the member, and for Minnesota Valley. We always look for ways to identify local cost-saving initiatives. And your cooperative continues to use the Margin Stabilization Rate Reserve Fund to absorb or minimize rate impacts with the current projection showing the fund balance reducing to the point of prompting a rate review for 2023. Offering competitive, stable rates is important to Minnesota Valley. This is our commitment to you. Historically, the cooperative has provided reliable electric service at competitive prices. Electric costs are changing. Higher costs for fuel and infrastructure needs, supply chain issues, energy policy, to name a few. This not only impacts Minnesota Valley, but all utilities across the U.S. Your cooperative works hard to minimize the effects of rate adjustments and manages the business effectively to prepare for times just like this. Members have opportunities to manage usage costs. Minnesota Valley offers many programs and services to help you manage your electric bill. We are here to partner with you. So in summary, Minnesota Valley remains financially strong. We continue to maintain competitive rates both nationally and with our neighbors. The Margin Stabilization Fund has served Minnesota Valley well. And Minnesota Valley is reviewing revenue needs for 2023 and beyond, and will communicate to you along the way. This concludes my report. If there are any questions, I would take them at this time. Seeing none, well, Brent, I'll turn it back to you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Joanne. Do we have a motion now to approve the 2021 financial report? Do we hear a motion from anyone? Thank you so much. And a second? Sir, was your second? We'll take that as the second. So we have a motion and a second on that. All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed, say no. Aye votes have the majority, and the motion carries. So thank you so much to Ryan and Joanne for your presentations. This time I'd like to wish our legal advisor, Paul Johnson, a happy retirement. Paul has represented MDEC since July 2013. And for nearly 9 years, he's faithfully driven from his law office in Alexandria to attend and advise our monthly board meetings. This is his last annual meeting with us before beginning a very well-deserved retirement. Paul, congratulations. We will miss you and your sound legal advice. And Ryan had mentioned it, but I would like to... Ryan had mentioned, but on behalf of the board, I would also like to thank the entire MDEC team for everything they do at the cooperative. Your efforts are greatly appreciated. We appreciate your exceptional service to our members, and a number of them are here tonight. If you can stand and raise your hand. Let's have a round of applause for our MDEC employees. A couple of them are out in the hall, but they heard your applause, so appreciate it. So as has been our tradition for the past 12 years, MDEC is awarding 15 $1,000 scholarships to graduating high school seniors. 5 scholarships per MDEC district were randomly selected prior to this meeting. And the money for scholarships is largely funded through MDEC's unclaimed capital credits. Now, this is money that would otherwise be claimed by the state of Minnesota. We feel the membership would agree that this unclaimed money should be awarded to member students rather than forfeited to the state. Now, at this time of year, due to spring sports, spring break, several recipients are not able to join us tonight, but students that are in attendance, please come forward as I call your name by district to receive your certificate, and please stay in front of the stage until all of the recipients are announced. So, distributing scholarships for District 1 is Board Director Tom Wolf. Some of you could come forward. And I think we'll probably have them line up in front of the stage. We probably wouldn't have room. Terry, is that okay if we have them? Okay. Don't want to we could have a lot of people up here. So, for District 1, Tom has the certificates first. Connor Beauchamp of Lakeville South High School. Connor isn't here tonight, but he plans to attend at St. Norbert College in De Pere, Wisconsin. Ryan Engel of Prior Lake High School. Ryan isn't here tonight, and I know it's spring break in Prior Lake, but he plans to attend Minnesota State University in Mankato. Ryan Forbes of Burnsville High School, and Ryan is right there. Ryan plans to attend Normandale College in Bloomington. And yeah, if you could just kind of line up here, and we will have one round of applause for all of our scholarship winners. So, Thomas Keller of the Academy of Holy Angels. Thomas isn't here tonight, but his plans are to attend the University of Minnesota Twin Cities. And Nora Rosemeyer of New Prague High School. And there's Nora. Nora is still undecided where she will attend, so congratulations so much to Nora. And if you want to line up in front there, that would be great. Thank you so much. So, scholarships for District 2 is Board Director Michelle Morrison, and Michelle is coming forward. Our first winner in District 2, Jackson Drews of Prior Lake High School. Jackson is here tonight, plans to attend the University of Minnesota Twin Cities. Zoya Hassan of Eden Prairie High School. Zoya is here, and she plans to attend the University of Minnesota Twin Cities. Congratulations to Zoya. Luke Schwen of Southwest Christian High School. Luke isn't here tonight, plans to attend Bethel University in St. Paul. Daniel Sweeney of Waconia High School. And there's Daniel. Daniel plans to attend Bemidji State University. And finally, from District 2, Caitlin Wisdorf from Chaska High School. There's Caitlin. And Caitlin plans to attend the College of St. Benedict in St. Joseph. Now, distributing the scholarships for District 3, Board Director Fran Barton. And our first winner in District 3 is Paige Atherton of Waterville Elysian Morristown High School. There's Paige. She plans to attend University of Wisconsin-Stout. Kendra Lashko, Tri-City United High School. There's Kendra. Plans to attend Gustavus Adolphus College in St. Peter. Next is Nicholas Guys at New Prague High School. Now, Nick isn't here tonight, but he plans to attend St. Cloud Technical College. Madison Steen of Cleveland High School. Madison plans to attend Minnesota State University in Mankato. And our final winner in District 3, Caitlin Wolf. Minnesota Connections Academy. Caitlin plans to attend the St. Scholastica College in Duluth. And we also have an academic scholarship awarded from one of our wholesale power providers, that being Basin Electric Power Cooperative in Bismarck, North Dakota. And our 2022 Basin Electric Academic Scholarship winner is Sheridan Liggett of Elko, Newmarket. And there's Sheridan. She attends Lakeville High School, plans to attend the University of Minnesota Duluth. So we, again, thank you, Basin, for providing that scholarship opportunity to our members. Congratulations, students. And now, let's have that round of applause. And at this time, if you would follow Becky, who's in back waving, Becky with the camera, that's what it says here, is going to take a group photo. So follow Becky, she'll get the photo, and then you can return to your seats here in the audience. Next, I would like to tell you about MDEC's youth tour program. Savannah Berg, if you would come up front, please. More than 1,800 students from U.S. Electric Cooperatives take part in youth tour each year. The scholarship trip, leadership trip to Washington, D.C. gives young people the opportunity to learn more about electric cooperatives, its history, explore museums, memorials, monuments, make friendships that last a lifetime, and be part of a group that has more than 50,000 alumni from the past 60 years in every walk of life. After a 2-year hiatus due to the pandemic, I'm happy to introduce you to our youth tour representative for 2022, Savannah Berg of Carver. Savannah is a sophomore at New Country School in Henderson. She will join 40 other students from our state electric cooperative and travel to D.C. in June. So congratulations, Savannah. We can't wait to hear about your youth tour experience. And here is your certificate. Tyler Shred of Jordan High School was chosen as our runner. All right, next, do we have any unfinished business? meeting? Any unfinished business? Anybody? All right, hearing none, we may proceed. Is there any new business to come before this meeting? Any new business? Any new business? And hearing none, we may proceed. And now I will invite Paul Johnson, MDEC attorney, to present the 2022 director election results. Now, they didn't applaud the second time, Paul. Here's Paul Johnson. Thank you, Brett.
My business is to handle the election and the election by acclamation. Every year, one board seat in each of Minnesota Valley's 3 voting districts is open for election. Notices of candidate filing are made beginning with the November issue of the Electric Eye newsletter with the January 28th, 2022 deadline. This year, one district had a race for its board seat, while the second and third districts, the incumbents ran unopposed. Ballots were mailed to the membership in March. Voting was also available here on site. Ballots are received and tallied by a third-party vendor, ballot survey systems of Prairie. They have provided me with the following election results. So in District 1, we have Daniel Leishacker, and he received 177 votes, and running against him was the incumbent, Deborah Erickson. Deborah received 959 votes. So Deborah was the winner there. Congratulations to her. And that is a 3-year term. We move to District 2, and the incumbent candidate there running unopposed was Gary Haberman. Under Minnesota Valley's bylaws, Gary can be elected by acclamation, a voice vote by you, the members of District 2. So at this time, all of those in favor of returning Gary Haberman to the District 2 seat, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the yes votes have it, and Gary is elected. We move to District 3. The incumbent candidate was Jim Conley. Jim ran unopposed. Again, under Minnesota Valley bylaws, Jim can be elected by acclamation, the voice vote by the members of District 3. All those in favor of returning Jim to the District 3 seat, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? No. And once again, the aye votes have it, and Jim is re-elected. Congratulations to Jim. With that, I'll turn things over to Brent.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that completes our business meeting and brings the 85th annual meeting to a close. Do we have a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting?
So moved.
And a second? So we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. And opposed, say no. Aye votes have a majority. Motion carries. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for attending tonight. We're glad you could spend time with us to learn more about your cooperative. A recorded copy of the meeting and all of the other meeting information, including the photo gallery of our scholarship winners, will be posted online. Have a nice evening. Stay dry. Drive carefully. Thank you so much for coming. And the board directors will now meet at the city council chambers for our annual reorganization meeting. Thanks so much, everyone. Good evening.